YouTube, what's up? I've never been a huge fan of fire builds, but I wanted to try this Fireball Sorc out. Fire is known to be one of the better boss killers, but have slower AoE speeds. I was happily surprised how efficient this build was. I will go over the gear in the Merc setup, the stats and the skill points used in the build, and then I will go through P8 Cows, P8 Chaos Sanctuary, and P8 Baal. Timestamps and links will be in the description below. Alright, so first I'll go over the gear. So first things, using Ashudas. This could be better. I still don't have this socketed yet, but it is a perfect 20% to fire damage. So it's doing slightly more fire damage than your Hoto, but not by much because the 20% is just added to the fire mastery. So it's not doing a whole lot, but it's still slightly better. I should facet this and put a I should socket this and put a facet in at some point. Flickering Flame, the important piece here is the plus fire to skills, also the minus 14% enemy fire resist. Perfect would be minus 15. You don't need totally perfect gear, but otherwise this is fine. A 220 Sorceress Amulet. The reason why for 220 here is because I need the faster cast rate to hit the 105. So I need a 10 FCR ring on this. So I'm using one with strength and some cold and lightning resist, since resists on this build are kind of hard to get. And then one BK ring. BK instead of an SOJ because mana is not a huge issue, but life kind of is. So just for the extra added life, I went with a BK ring. Arachnid's Mesh for the 20 faster cast rate and a +1 skill. And then for the armor, I'm using Chains of Honor for the +2 skills and the 65 all res plus the damage reduction. This is also the only source of magic find I have on the build, which is 25, which is super low. I know people are going to be like, well, it's a Fireball Sorc. Why don't you have any magic find? I don't really care about magic. I don't think it's that important. And then Phoenix Shield. So this is the first and only Phoenix Shield that I rolled, and it was pretty nice. Had level 15 redemption, which is cool. And the minus 28 enemy fire resistance and the 19 fire absorb. Also with this, you're getting plus to maximum lightning resist, which helps against souls, and plus to 10% maximum fire resist, which is good for fire damage. And you also get plus to 5 maximum fire resist here, so then you're getting 90 fire resist, which is huge. I went with Alder's Boots. Again, I like running fast, so these have 40% faster run walk, plus the 50 to life, which is boostable by battle order, so that was a nice bonus. And then because the build is lacking in resist, you get a lot of fire resist from here. A little piece here too, which is nice, is 10% damage taken goes to mana. So if you do take some damage from the build, it goes to your mana pool, which helps, you know, being able to cast more stuff. But again, with the redemption here, you're always going to be pretty full on mana anyways. And then Mage Fist for the +1 to fire skills, obviously. And then the Regenerate Mana. Regenerate Mana is pretty minimal on this build. You're not using Insight on the Merc, you're using Infinity. So having some source of extra mana regen is helpful. For a torch, I have a 1919 torch. Annie 2020 Annie 2026. Again, this is a 99 build, so you don't need any experience. So just 2020 is nice. You have your Fire Sunder. This is not a perfect Sunder. I think I have a perfect Sunder, but again, it doesn't matter. I have full res for fire anyways. And then Fire Skillers. Most of them are plain. I have a couple, I think. Or no, I don't have any with life. I did have one with life, and I traded it away. So anyways, these are all plain Fire Skillers pretty much. Obviously, having ones with life would be nice quality of life, but not that important. And then you need to make up some resist. So 11 light resist. And then we have life and cold resist. Life and lightning resist, 20 to life, all resistance is 5, 20 to life, 20 life, 1 mana, all resistance is 4, and faster run walk and poison resist. And then on swap, 262 CTA and another spirit. And here is the stats page. So landing on 156 strength, just enough to wear the Monarch, and then everything else into Vitality. So you can see here, we are doing 90 fire res, which is pretty awesome. And then your full res on poison and cold. And then you have a little extra, 5% extra for lightning resist. So having full res is nice. You can see here, fireball damage is doing 19 to 20k without any buffs. And then for the Mercenary, using a Cure for that Cleansing Aura and the faster hit recovery, which is nice. Poison like reduce, all that stuff. And then a Chains of Honor because this is giving him the 8% life leech. It's the only source of life leech that he has. Plus the all res and the damage reduction. And then Infinity and a Mancatcher. Mancatcher because it is the fastest attack speed base that you can have in Infinity. So he will leech more often. And then I chose a Defiance Merc just to give him and myself some added defense in case we do get into melee range. So again, there's not a whole lot of things helping me damage reduced wise. So having some extra defense is nice. For the skill tree, I put 2 points into Frozen Armor because I had 1 extra point, so 2 points into Frozen Armor. Then for the lightning skills, we just have 1 into Static. I use that sometimes. Telekinesis, very good utility skill, but obviously you need it to get down to Teleport. And then for the fire skills, we have 1 point into Warmth, 1 point into Enchant, and then we max out Hydra. Then we max out Firebolt, max out Fireball, and max out Meteor, along with maxing out Fire Mastery. Then the 1 points into these just to get down to Meteor. I do use Blaze, and I use Blaze mostly not for the damage at all, but for the faster run walk speed. So here we are outside of town. So this is the max Fireball damage. So it's doing 20 to 21k, and then Hydra damage is doing 4,700 to 5,200 Hydra damage. All right, so I'm going to do a player's 8 cow with the Fireball Sorc. How you do this online, you just join a Baal or Chaos game and then just go do cows quickly. So here we are, we buff up. And then I do Blaze so that I can run real fast. Because I think running fast with this build is important. Because unlike Nova Sorc, you need to be kind of at distance. You can't be right up. So the ability to run around is pretty good. So yeah, we just drop Hydras and then spam some Fireballs. You kind of have to be careful with teleporting. Again, you can't teleport into a pack or else it will hurt pretty bad. So having Hydras ahead of you to kind of scout is important. I throw in a few statics here just because this player's 8 kind of helps out a little bit. So you can see if I get hit there, it's not too bad, but so the Hydras do really good single target damage. It's not great AoE. Fireball does have some AoE if the monsters are tightly packed, and which cows are. Blaze doesn't do a whole lot of damage, it's just mostly for the faster run walk. So you can see P8 cows is not that difficult. It's not the most efficient, but it's quite alright. And my mercenary is, because of Defiance, it helps him survive in cows. And then with that Phoenix Shield, because there's so many cows on the ground, you gain back life and mana very, very quickly. So player's 8 cows, really not a big deal. Pretty easy, so yeah. Alright, so here we are. Chaos Sanctuary, just buffing up. This is only P5 right now to start. So same method, drop a bunch of Hydras in front, cast Static, cast Blaze so I can run around fast. Not as fast as clearing as a Nova Sorc for sure. And playing on PS5, it's quite easy to use Fireball. It auto aims. Same with the Hydras. So these Venom Lords are inherently fire immune, so Sunder Charm breaks the immunity, and then we have the Fire Pierce, which is not super high, but minus 42, I believe. So yeah, that's why these guys take a little bit longer. Players 8 now to kill. So now that we're at players 8. Still, the build is relatively safe. You're at a safe distance. Your mercenary is quite strong. Hydras do a lot of damage. So yeah, you're not really getting too much into it. Blaze again to run around. I just think having faster run walk for any build is just nice quality of life. Just trying to target. So then for this, I do blaze and then run around right where Diablo spawns just to get a little bit of extra damage. Then drop 6 Hydras and blast. And you'll see the boss killing speed for this. Like, that's less than a second, maybe. Maybe 1 second. So pretty good. So now we're doing a solo P8 Baal. Starts out again as P5 until more players join the game. So we're just clearing the throne room now. Again, those guys are fire immune, so they take a little bit longer. So I like to use Blaze and run around a little bit to get some extra damage when they drop. And then drop the Hydras. So again, just Blaze, drop some Hydras, and then blast some Fireballs. And then these Hydras, since you have 90 fire resist, you can just stand there and take absolutely 0 damage. It's nice to stand in those, help your Merc out. So you can see the waves do go down pretty quickly. It's not instant like a Mosaic or maybe a Nova Sorc, but it's still pretty good. And then this last wave, since they're probably mostly fire immunes, it's going to be kind of take a little bit. Target the Merc. Don't have the best hit recovery, but still went pretty quick. Again, not a huge deal. Very, very doable. And then P8 Baal. So again, this is going to be pretty quick because Hydras are very good boss killing. So drop all the Hydras right at Baal. Right at his feet. So yeah, that's it. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to do so below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.